Oh my God. Hello, Win Gaffo people. What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. Unapologetically Coco. Coco's here, and I got myself, y'all, a Yeti mic. So we are just elevating, we are progressing, we are making this thing more and more amazing, more beautiful. So hope you guys can hear me clearly if you're like going on a walk or you're washing the dishes. You guys can just hear my voice a little bit clearly. I'm so excited for this video because I'm going to be talking about Selena Gomez's new documentary, My Mind and Me. And y'all, if you have not watched that documentary yet, please do yourself a favor, hit pause on this, go on Apple TV and watch it, because honestly, it is one of the best documentaries I have watched based on a celebrity. I did not know what to expect. Mind you, I have not been like a huge Selena Gomez fan. I was very indifferent about her. She's not like my favorite Disney Channel star, so I didn't dislike her, but I wasn't like keeping up with her. I mean, kind of when she was like dating Justin Bieber, but that's kind of really all I knew, was that she dated Justin Bieber. She was in Wizards of Waverly Place, and she sang, and yeah, I just never really kept up with her. And then I felt like she kind of just was in and out of social media. And then she started talking more about her lupus and talked about her bipolar. But that was like towards the tail end. So I never really kept up with Selena Gomez. I didn't even follow her on Instagram. So this was so exciting to just get a glimpse of who she was as a person, as an individual. And I have become throughout the years a huge advocate for mental health and mental illnesses, thought disorders. And so just hearing someone who is as big, who is as famous as Selena Gomez talk about her struggles was amazing. But I'm getting ahead of myself. If you haven't watched it, like I said, please do yourself a favor, watch that, and then come back and let's chat about it, because I have so many feelings towards this beautiful, beautiful documentary. Now, what I loved the most about this documentary was just how transparent Selena was throughout the whole movie. Like, she was so intentional with everything that she was showing, how she was perceived, how she was presenting herself, and even just the people that were also giving their own stories and anecdotes. It felt so real and sincere, and you could definitely see that she wasn't trying to sugarcoat or put herself in a light that made her look like she was just this godsend. She was very, very open, very, very vulnerable, and just raw, and I appreciated that so much. And I think with a lot of the documentaries that we have been receiving from musical artists specifically, it was joined with like a concert, so we're getting the performance aspect and just kind of seeing how they came to be and how they worked towards their big show, the big stadium tour. And with this documentary, Selena Gomez did talk about music, but it wasn't the focal point. It was talking about her struggles living with bipolar disorder and lupus, and you really got to see who she was, and it humanized her so much. And I found myself emotional because I was caring about who she was as a person, and amidst all the fame and, all the following and the billions of streams, all of those things, it still doesn't buy happiness, and it still doesn't change the fact that she's struggling sometimes, that she's still a human being. You know what I mean? And I loved that the beginning of the documentary, you are brought into her world. You see Selena Gomez walking to her dress rehearsal for this huge stadium tour, and you see her just reeling with all of these limiting beliefs, and we all are there. We all go through those limiting beliefs and feeling that she's not worthy, and seeing how she's trying to strip away this cookie cutter Disney Channel image that she has to deal with. And like, people forget that like they are contracted to do so many things that they don't want to do. And then when they want to be taken seriously as a legitimate artist, they have a lot of work to take away a lot of those Disney Channel layers. And for her, I didn't even recognize how much she was trying to get rid of that. And I also could say that I was that type of person who also was like, okay, Selena, like, girl, you're a Disney star, like, calm down, pipe down. And when you hear how much she is not able to, celebrate the things that she's doing, you just feel for her. And it's just like all of these rapid thoughts, which also goes hand in hand with her bipolar. And then to hear how her psychosis, broke her down and took her away from reality, and, her hearing thoughts and her unable to, be focused within reality. It was so moving, and it was so haunting and sad, because I don't feel a lot of people talk about psychosis enough, and I found myself getting very emotional because I've had loved ones who had a psychotic break, and you don't realize it until it happened. Like when they talked about how Selena, you couldn't tell that she was there. That is so real. Like they are unable to really, rationalize their thoughts. They believe in the delusions that are happening in their minds. And just like this girl who seemingly has everything is so caught up in whatever is going on in her head that she's unable to zoom out. And it just to hear her family and her close friends and even like the people that she's working with see that, and just see how she completely left reality, was so wild for me to hear, because it's something that is so common but not talked about. Like, obviously we know about bipolar and anxiety and schizophrenia and all those things, but like I feel like psychosis is not talked about enough. Like, it is such a huge symptom in these mental illnesses that really causes people to ruin relationships. They end up self-sabotaging a lot of their relationships. And one of the things that Selena said was like, my team, my people, my family, they didn't give up on me. And you see that where she would take out a lot of her anger on her parents and say things that she didn't mean, and then next day feel so regretful and so remorseful. But the fact that is that her parents were still there, and they were like, Selena, especially the fact that she was able to get diagnosed as bipolar, they were able to now understand and have compassion for her and be like, hey, Selena, like, we have you, we got your back. We know that's not you. And so many people are left in this world undiagnosed, having to navigate relationships and navigate the world without knowing why things are going the way they are. Why are things so dark and so negative? Why am I unable to maintain healthy relationships with people? And the fact that she had the blessing of, being so well supported and well taken care of and well thought of and heard and seen, she's able to, navigate the ups and downs of living with a thought disorder, with a mental illness, and then still come out on top. I mean, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And I feel people forget that. And that's something she's going to be living with for the rest of her life. You know what I mean? And I just thought, just to hear how she's able to, sit with her emotions and, and like have people just understand her. Like, it was so beautiful to see how she was gaining awareness of her health, and then having the people support her, not ridicule her, not make her feel less, and not making, not taking the thoughts and the words and the behaviors, personally. It was so beautiful. I keep saying that, but I just like, I like, because I have such an attachment to it and such a passion for it, it was so heartwarming to see how much they were working together to build something and to move past it. And I just have such an appreciation for Selena Gomez. Like I was just like I respect you so much, and the fact that like she is doing so much on herself and then living with bipolar, living with lupus, living with fame, and living with this childhood image, and like all of these things that are like so difficult. It's admirable, you know what I mean? And that documentary really shows how she's able to come on top. And when you see her like having to do these interviews that are just people asking the dumbest questions, like you got like you can see the frustration. She's like, what am I doing? Why am I here? And like the part where she starts feeling true happiness is when she, I believe, goes to Kenya, and she's able to take herself out of that environment that where the expectations of her to do all these things that are not meaningful to her. Like there's so much more in the world, and you see her grappling with these different questions. And I just can't get over the fact that this woman is living with so much and dealing with so much, and she's able to just really work through all of these questions and all of these feelings, and using her platform in such an amazing way to educate and to dispel a lot of stigma that is attached with mental illness. Because I feel like people only see it in the severe cases, but it can be so subtle, and people are high functioning living with these illnesses. And it's just so fascinating when you just think about the media and gossip and how they just run with any type of news. And I felt for her too, in the sense that she was definitely always associated with Justin Bieber, and that was talked about throughout her journey. How like I do any certain thing and it always comes back to this person that I'm not with anymore, and I'm so much more than that. And the song Lose You to Love Me is one of my favorite Selena Gomez songs. Like after going through my breakup, I literally play that all the time. And I love that she said it's all about finding love within myself, finding myself. It's not like a love song. It's not about Justin Bieber. It's not about anyone. It's about me. It's my love story. And it just changed my perspective of that whole song. And the fact that she wrote that in 45 minutes with Julia Michaels and I forgot what the other person's name is, like, that says that she had so much to say, and you can feel it, you can sense it, and you can tell that she was holding all that in, and just for her to be able to just release that and just like, I'm not with this person. I'm not defined by this person. I'm not defined by Disney. I'm not defined by my illness. I'm just going to just find myself and love myself the best way that I know how. And that is how, y'all, right now, PSA, that's how you end up, falling in love with yourself. And that's how you find your authentic self. That's how you become unapologetically you, is when you're able to go deep within and really focus on yourself. And I just am so obsessed with that. Just the whole storytelling in this documentary, you can't help but root for Selena. Like, you're just rooting for her, and you just want the utmost best for this beautiful, kind soul who is just navigating the world with this huge fame. And it's like she understands that she has a responsibility with this platform, with this support, with this following, and she's still also recognizing that she's a human. And that just makes me take a step back, and like, as we get so hyped on gossip and people's behavior, like it makes me think of Kanye West and and Aaron Carter, who just passed. It's like mental health is such a huge thing that we all need to talk about more, and just share kindness and compassion, because people are all going through it. It doesn't matter if you're a billionaire or not. We're all going through our human experience, and checking in on these people and understanding that there's so much more to the picture. Like Aaron Carter was dealing with all of these different arise of mental health issues, and no one really said much. People were just so focused on like the action, the behaviors. Kanye West literally has not been well since his mom passed, and we were aware of that. And so like now it's just like you can kind of see like the actions and the behaviors. It's like it's all deep rooted, it's all layering. And so I just feel that this documentary just sheds light on mental health in such a beautiful way, and fame, and how one person can be going through one thing, and it's different for each person, and I think just hearing her story and hearing how she is going through fame and going through her passions, and then realizing that like at the end of the day, like I am figuring out what I want to do with my platform, which when she talks about being an advocate for bringing mental health support in schools, especially elementary school, I was like, oh. So I was like, yes, that is what we need, because it is so wild. Because she said a point too, whereas like when we're kids, like in kindergarten, preschool, that's when they start talking about feelings and emotions. You walk in, you do your check-in, you're like, hey, like, how are you feeling today? And you have to identify the different emotions. But what happens after that? What happens? Like literally, what, like first, second, third, like we kind of just stop talking about our emotions and our feelings, and then we just kind of just navigate the world based on what. And I love the idea of having that support throughout school, because then hormones changes. We're going through more things, more issues, and I know for me, when I was in middle school, I had a social worker that I was talking to frequently, especially like being in the closet at that time and not knowing what I was feeling. Having someone there to really just talk about anything and everything, and nothing was taboo. I felt so safe, and it helped me through middle school, and it helped me as I became more in touch with who I am as a person. And so the fact that she is taking her platform, she's taking her fame, and she's making use of it based on her experiences. So it's like, it's not even like she's just doing it just to do it. Like she is living it, and that just sets a tone. It's so powerful. It's so powerful. And I just have so much respect for her and what she does and how she is navigating this fame. So much appreciation. I just love documentaries in general, especially when we are talking about these huge celebrities, and then when you're able just to see them and like humanize them, it's so important. And I think this is like one of the best documentaries I've watched for in regards to a musical artist or an actress. Like it just exceeded every expectation. And I really believe everyone should watch it, because it's so good. It is so good. It is so good, y'all. Also, I need to shout out her best friend, Raquel. I think that's her name, Raquel. She is a good ass friend, y'all. I found myself so obsessed with her. She is such like a homie, and she's so ride or die. She is there to support Selena. She's also there to have these real conversations. Like she doesn't try to like sugarcoat or try to baby her. Like they definitely have a clear, close relationship, and she definitely understands what Selena is going through. She knows the multitude of what she's going through, and she is so there. She's so present. She is willing to be that person to like call her out, but then also be that person to show support and love. Like those times when Selena's thoughts would get the best of her, if she got too negative, if she was over analyzing things, like Raquel was one of those voices to be a voice of reason, and I loved it. And she was just always there, and at every point that she made it, and she was just such a good friend, and I loved, and she was so supportive, and she loved Selena, and that's all you need in those situations. Like even like outside of bipolar and lupus, like just as a friend who is literally famous, the fact that you have someone that is always going to have your back and is always going to keep it 100 with you is so important. So I love Raquel. I love seeing that friendship. I love seeing those conversations. I love that they even showed them having a little argument, a little tiff in there, because it just brought a realness and a rawness to it. That was so relatable. So shout out to Raquel, because you are a good friend. I love yours and Selena's friendship. It was so amazing to see that play out on this documentary. Overall, in conclusion, I absolutely loved this documentary. My Mind and Me is such a great telling and representation of an artist that is a human being. And I think everyone should watch it. And you will just learn so much about the industry, about mental health, and so much about Selena Gomez and just who she is. And I just, even watching her, I was like, wow, you're really dope. Like, I didn't even think that, like, for whatever reason, I always thought she was corny, and she is really not. She's actually so dope. I hit that follow real quick. I was like, I'm going to support you. You are such a representation of what an artist should be. And I'm so glad that I was able to learn all about Selena Gomez and who she is and what she represents. And yeah, no, it is so good. 5 out of 5 snaps. Please watch it. It is so good. I think I'm going to watch it again. Like, I've watched it twice already. And I think it's just going to be something that I will revisit, especially as I start to just learn more about mental health and mental illnesses. I think it's just important to educate yourself and to talk more about it and to really learn about other people's experiences, because mental illnesses looks different for each person, you know? And so I'm just glad that I was able to just receive that goodness, all that information, all that vulnerability is just so sexy. Yes. Oh, I was so into it. I love it. I wholeheartedly believe everyone, if you haven't watched it before, please watch it after you listen to this. Be enlightened. It's going to be so good. Also, if you have watched it, please put in the comments below kind of what your thoughts were, what stood out to you, what did you learn going into it about Selena, about bipolar disorder, all those things. Leave it in the chat so we could talk about it, because I think it was just done so well. And if you like me doing reviews on movies, documentaries, all those things, let me know if I should do some more. Let me know if I should talk about mental health a little bit more and like those disorders, because I've been really invested in that and wanting to learn how to become more of an advocate. And so if you have any ideas in that regards, please let a girl know, because we are trying to grow. I'm trying to make sure that I am utilizing my knowledge, my fields, my space for this. It's for all of us. You know, we're in this journey together, so I'm ready. Okay, I got this mic now, so I'm feeling official. Oh, I'm so excited. But anyway, please let me know what your thoughts are. Before we part, my friends, my people, go hit that like button. Hit that like button. Hit that notification button. It helps your girl out. And please subscribe. And if you could do me one favor, if you could just share this channel to one of your friends. Maybe 2, maybe 3. It would mean the world to me. I have so many things cooking up. I'm so excited to see where all of this is headed. I'm just having a great time doing the things that I would normally just do by myself. So you guys are just entering my world. You're seeing what I be doing on my own accord, and I am loving every second of it. I'm just loving every second of it. So I'm going to leave it there. Again, please watch My Mind and Me and have your life rocked. But until next time, y'all, be kind. Be compassionate, be fierce, and be unapologetically you. Because that, my friends, is all we need in this world today. Okay, can I get a woman? Until the next time, y'all. Love yous!